I'm going to read a section of a poem that I wrote many years ago, and it's entitled "The Secrecy Cycle." It's from a series called "The Wargasm," and it was written during the height of the wars, of the initial stages of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. But it's about the geopolitics that surrounds those both. Surrounds both events, and I thought that I would make a brief sort of backgrounder as well when I read the poem. Now, to start, what I'd like to do is introduce some of the principles in this opening section. One of them is, just hold on a second here. The first one that you should know about is a fellow named Mohammed Mossadegh, and he was the president or rather, prime minister of Iran. Iran, after World War II, got rid of its Shah, its king. And Mossadegh is famous as the last democratic leader of Iran. Iran was a fairly progressive country at that time. And although he's not well known now, he is considered a great patriot and a hero of secular modern Iranian history. Now, the reason that he is important from a geopolitical point of view is he realized that the Iranians were losing a great deal of money. The British had licenses to drill oil in Iran, and the Iranians didn't like the terms of these agreements. And what they decided to do was nationalize the oil wells of Iran. This upset and annoyed the owners of these privately owned oil companies, primarily British, and they decided that Mossadegh had to go. Now, the coup d'etat that was organized against Mossadegh and ultimately brought the Shah into power was organized partly by MI6 and partly by the CIA. The president during that period was Dwight Eisenhower, probably one of the most progressive Republican presidents the United States has ever had. However, in the post-World War II period, there was sort of a kind of go-go mentality, and the idea of organizing a coup d'etat against an uppity leader in a small nation was not particularly shocking at that time. And of course, the United States and Great Britain were great allies. Now, what happened as well in a neighboring country was there was a different kind of coup d'etat, and the leader of that particular coup, just hold on a second, was this rather handsome fellow who is known to the world as Saddam Hussein, and whose image is more than one that we're used to in late middle age. But he organized a quote unquote revolution in Iraq, and he was originally a nationalist who also wanted to free Iraq from colonial power. You have to remember that in the Middle East, the French and the British in particular had extraordinary influence. They were very, very hegemonic colonial powers. Um, and questions remain about the success of Hussein's coup. It was Mossadegh, a democratic leader who was basically rubbed out of political power, and Mossadegh was a fairly decent sort. Hussein, on the other hand, was wild and unruly. However, from a geopolitical point of view, he was acceptable to MI6 and the CIA because he was very anti-communist. Now, I'm just going to read the opening sections of this poem. So that's a backgrounder to the poem itself, and then this is the actual work. Just hold on a second. The secrecy cycle. Mohammed Mossadegh almost gave the British a heart attack when he decided he wanted his own oil. So MI6 and the agency too decided to be his foil. 2. Democracy's gone from the state of Iran, and this is cabled to Dwight. He sits by himself in the clear sunlight and finishes toast and coffee. 3. The Cold War isn't a bore when you're one of its participants. Furthermore, young Saddam thinks it's just grand that he can lend a hand to what he calls revolution. 4. Saddam, your gun goes blam. You are really, really tough. You run around, then hide underground while the station chief slips you cash. 5. Well done, you've won. You are now on top. Isn't it just a thrill? You can smoke cigars and put generals behind bars and study lists of whom to kill.